Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Maryland Living Podcast. This is Megan Burke, and I'm with John Reynolds and Pete Fettig.
Hey, Megan Burke.
What's up?
Hey, Pete Fettig. Hi. John Reynolds here.
So last week we started America in Miniature, a series.
Beautiful.
I know.
American Tiniature.
It's not a word.
It's not a word.
Why? What does American miniature mean,
So we have broken down Maryland into the 4 regions that it is, and we're gonna talk about each region. So today we're talking about, drum roll, Western Maryland.
Western Maryland. And just so there's no confusion, we're going to be talking specifically about Washington County, Allegheny County, and Garrett County.
Right.
Not to be controversial to our listener, but
Frederick does not tie in.
There was a time, I think, when Frederick could have tied in,
right.
but since Frederick County has really become more suburbanized and kind of a bedroom community of D.C., we're going to exclude that today. So
we're going way out west.
Apologies to all of our Frederick
days.
listeners. We'll catch up with you guys in Frederick later.
And that's going to be part of our Baltimore. Is that kind of the part of the, or is that going to be more of the DC?
I think it's going to have to be more the DC.
Okay.
Del Mar.
No. So go ahead, Megan.
No, I'm excited to jump in. There's some, actually, I know I always say this, and no, I'm not bringing up that thing.
The Blue Angels? Good Lord.
No, I was
prepared for that.
I was going to say, I love Western Maryland because it reminds me so much of Maine and just the outdoors and so many outdoorsy things to do.
And the Blue Angels.
It does not remind me of
close to the Blue Angels because she's up in the mountains.
Because she's up in the mountain, so she can reach up and touch a Blue Angel.
You guys, you can never make a mistake, mention something too many times. Like, you're never going to let it die.
No, we like to hold on to things every once in a while.
Speaking of reaching up in a mountain and touching the Blue Angels, do you guys know what the highest point in Maryland is?
Oh, do tell.
Mountaintop.
It's in Western Maryland. It's Hoy Crest on Backbone Mountain. And it's 3,360 feet above sea level.
Wow. Okay.
That's up there.
That is up
I mean,
there.
it can't compare to the Rockies or anything like that, but
No, but pretty good for Maryland.
yeah.
I'll take it.
And it's interesting that we're going to be talking on Western Maryland today. Today is June 19th, 2025. It's a federal holiday. It's Juneteenth.
Yes,
And Western Maryland, particularly a town in Washington County, Sharpsburg, played a pivotal role in the Civil War.
Yeah.
So we'll be touching on that in a bit.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's just touch on it now. Clock's ticking.
Well, I think Megan's chomping at the bit to talk about culture and events, and maybe Pete's I see you over there, buddy, chomping.
Yep.
No, there are some really fun things to do, and as I mentioned many other times, I'm always looking for fun things to do with the kids in the summer.
Right.
And Western Maryland is, there's so many fun things.
It's an outdoorsman's paradise.
Yeah, it really is.
Person's paradise.
You know what, Pete? You're right.
Yeah,
An outdoor person's paradise. Yeah. It's their paradise.
Yes, yeah. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
Obviously, what's the main thing that people go to Western Maryland for to get
Creek
away?
Lake.
Deep Creek, right?
Rocky Gap State Park.
Yep.
Another good one.
Both great destinations.
Yeah. So there's the Rocky Gap State Park, which I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it was actually a dam that was built in 1970. They finished it in 1974.
Damn.
It's 74 feet.
1974?
Founded in 1974.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they built it starting in 1970, finished it up in 1974.
Okay.
But, yeah.
There's a great casino there.
There is a casino there. And like a hotel.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all very scenic. And just to bring it back to the Blue Angels.
Oh, my God.
The Lake Habib, which is 243-acre lake, is the bluest lake in Maryland.
Ah.
That's what it's regarded as.
That's
how many lakes we really have.
I like how you connected all that.
Yeah, look at you.
Blue Angels, blue water.
Oh my God, I never am going to the Blue Angels again.
No, but they're great.
Be careful what you say, man.
I know. But actually, one thing that I saw that looks really fun that I think the kids would really enjoy is the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad Tour. Although it is 3 hours, which seems a bit excessive, but it goes from Cumberland to Frostburg, and it's a fully restored 1309 steam engine. And they actually during the holidays they have like a Polar Express, which would be
nice.
Oh yeah, that'd be
super
awesome.
fun.
Do you know why Western Maryland was such a railroad hub?
No, but I actually, you
think
think
it
I'm not
has
interested in history, but I would like to
Baltimore and
hear.
Ohio? Does that have anything to do with it?
That's exactly what it has to do with. Maryland. So first of all, you have to remember that the Port of Baltimore is a very active port, always has been. And Maryland, believe it or not, was considered kind of a gateway to the West.
Oh.
What I didn't know until today is that it is only 70 miles from the westernmost point of Maryland to Ohio.
That's so weird.
It's the Midwest.
You could toss a rock.
For real. Yeah. I mean, it's right there. So, of course, that's where the railroad is going to be.
That makes sense.
And towns like Cumberland were big railroad towns and built themselves up along the rivers and the railroads.
Cool. I really want to go. I want to go check out this. I want to go check it out for sure. Wisp Resorts out there too. That's another kind of a big.
That's near Deep Creek, right?
Actually, my cousin's Wisp Mountain Road. His property is on.
That's
on,
right.
You turn out of it, you're at the top of the mountain there.
Does he live there full time?
No. He's got a house there that he rents. It's a fantastic house.
Okay,
it's a
I'm
massive
sure.
townhouse. It's like 4,500 square feet. So we go there, we rent it. Sometimes he invites us.
Kevin and I went early. Actually, we weren't married very long, but we went out there and did like the precision rafting expeditions.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which was really fun. Especially after like a big storm like we just had. That would be super fun. But
There's a lot of whitewater out there.
yeah,
like
tubing.
Literally at that Wisp
Class
Mountain, they have
5.
a training facility that's right there at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
On Wisp Mountain Road. Where they literally have it's a man-made deal, but they have like I don't know if it's class 3 or whatever. it
Oh,
is.
okay.
And I guess the big river is it's the Potomac that runs from there all the way down to.
That I don't. We should
Yeah.
probably.
Pretty sure it is. We should, since we're pretending
Literally
we're
doing a
experts on
podcast on-
Western
yeah.
Maryland.
Someone
yeah.
just had a computer in front of them. They could figure it out.
But anyway, yeah. So those are some of the things that are going on. I mean, really. What do you go to Western Maryland for? It's to be outside. It's to go camping. It's to go tubing, whitewater rafting. There's some wineries out there. Big Cork Vineyards is out there. There's a distillery. So yeah, there's some fun things.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people who have lived their entire life in Maryland and have really never ventured out
Oh, really?
into
Yeah.
Western Maryland. It is, I don't think it's an understatement to say that it is so different from the rest of the state. I mean, we talked about how unique the Eastern Shore is, and,
Yeah.
and it is. It's equally unique, but in a different way the further west you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to the mountains.
Yeah, to the
You're-
country.
to the country. It's very rural. It shares much more with Appalachia. It is Appalachia.
Yep.
So it really kind of shares that culture that Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia have.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool how diverse we can be here.
And
So many
seasonally
things we can
speaking,
do.
Oh,
when
absolutely.
you're out Deep Creek Lake, obviously these warmer summer months, you have the lake to take
Yeah.
advantage of. Obviously, there's big skiing, but even on the warmer months when the skiing's not happening, they use mountain bikes to run up and down.
Oh,
those
yeah.
downhill courses. So it's,
Yeah, that's Swallow Falls State Park. They've got a 1.2-mile trail to the Muddy Creek Falls. There's biking and picnic areas and campsites, and so yeah, lots of biking out there.
Yeah,
too.
definitely. And if you like camping and hiking,
Which I mean,
the Rocky State,
I didn't say that I did.
well, Rocky Gap State Park even offers more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You got 15 miles of trails, 278 campsites for your camping and glamping needs.
Camping and glamping.
Because they have a hotel, you know.
Oh, okay.
I did go camping out there a couple of years ago. We went with like a whole bunch of families, and we had a great time. It was
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It really is.
We went hiking, and we actually stayed in these little cabins. I can't remember what the name of the resort. It wasn't a resort
That's
by any
glamping more,
means.
but
It was a cabin, and it did have electricity, but they said don't plug more than one thing in at a time.
Right.
Anyway, we had a great time, but it got really cold at night, and
Nice.
yeah,
that's what camping
I
is
think
about.
that was my last camping.
We
camping
went to this
excursion.
campground out there years and years ago. The kids were little. My wife was actually pregnant with our third, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And it was a treehouse campground.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
would love that.
So yeah,
they were probably nice, right?
it was like a very kind of basic log cabin
Right.
in a tree.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that
So you
would be
climb
cool.
up to it was really, really cool.
Nice.
We had a good time. We talked about skiing out there.
Yeah.
Do you know that they get an average of 120 inches of snow?
Really?
A
I would
year.
not have thought that.
Yeah, the climate out
Snowed
there
the whole
is
time we were there last
yeah,
time.
the climate out
Yeah.
there is much different because of the mountains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
called
Yeah.
elevation.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, thank you, Pete.
That's what I'm here for.
Science.
Strictly facts.
Yeah, I want to get out there and go skiing again because, again, being from Maine, I love to ski, but a lot of the places that are kind of close to DC, they get more rain, it's icier. But
Yeah.
when
There's
I've
a
been
lot
to
of
Wisp,
man-made snow, which is just not the same.
it's not the same, especially if you have, been skiing for any period of time.
Are you a
Right.
good skier?
I am a good skier. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Nice. Pete, what
should
about you?
ask
Do you
Jen,
ski?
Oh, I'm not very good.
Yeah, I'm a good faller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should ask my friend Jen that you hate.
Yeah, I don't like Jen at
I
all.
know. She doesn't like you either, but
I know.
she,
Lot of hate.
we'll have to have her on the podcast sometime and tell a
No,
little
we
Keep you
don't-
guys distant.
We don't need to have Jen on the podcast.
We went skiing one time up in Maine, and she fell off of a chairlift into a river.
Oh, that's
good.
awesome. Wow. That's
That
a
is.
story we need to
That
hear.
is there video of that?
There's not.
Were there injuries?
Hypothermia.
No, I think she was okay, but they literally stripped her down there at the when they
good.
pulled her out.
Yeah, good for Jen.
No, but we were
Way to go, Jen.
the guy that was sitting next to her on the chairlift, because it was like a super quad, so it comes up. We don't need Jen. I'm just going to tell the story now.
Yeah.
Anyway, the super quad
No
goes
one
to
needs Jen.
everybody needs a Jen. It goes to scoop us up, and her butt missed the chairlift, and so the guy next to her and I held on to her coat, but we didn't grab her arm. We only held on to the coat, so you can imagine what happened.
So you're left holding a coat.
Correct.
And Jen's in the river. That's out.
on top of a
That's amazing.
net.
Boulder.
Yeah. I mean, thank God there was a river.
Seriously, I know.
This is up in
busted up.
I think we were at Sugarloaf up in Maine.
Up
but-
in Maine,
Yeah.
watching the Blue Angels.
Oh my God. She also got a ticket on the way home, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll save that for next time. No, I'm glad that we could bring up Jen on our podcast about Western Maryland.
You can cut that out later.
No, I'm gonna leave it. It's awesome. It's awesome. When you take when you take your boys out there,
The children.
Megan, the children.
I don't really want to take them anywhere right now. We're in the throes of summer,
Yeah,
but
no,
continue.
I know. But I know that they kind of appreciate history.
Yeah.
You have to take them to the Antietam battlefield.
Okay.
I mean, it's like sacred ground.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bloody.
Yeah. Well, it
I mean, what's
was.
going on now?
The Battle of Antietam, which is also known as the Battle of Sharpsburg, was the bloodiest single day in American history.
Really?
Over 23,000 casualties
That's
in 12 hours.
23,000?
23,000 Americans, both Union and Confederate, but all Americans ultimately. 23,000 perished there in 12 hours.
And all they used to do,
Jeez.
think about the way they used to fight. They line up in a row. It's like
Yeah.
a wall of people.
Yeah.
So you're asking for a lot of death that way. But
So you go there, and it's really like holy ground. I mean,
Okay.
It is.
and it's a really important spot, and it holds a really important place in American history. Confederate General Robert E. Lee led his army of Northern Virginia into Maryland with a few objectives. And I just know this off the top of my head, of course.
murder 2,300 people.
He wanted to gain foreign recognition for the Confederacy. He wanted to acquire supplies, and he wanted to shift the war out of Virginia and potentially influence public opinion in the North.
Okay.
So while the battle itself was a draw, no one won, it did force Lee to withdraw back into Virginia. That ended his northern invasion. Why that's important is Abraham Lincoln had been waiting for a Union victory to issue his preliminary Emancipation Proclamation. And while it wasn't a Union victory, it wasn't a Union defeat.
Okay.
The Confederacy had withdrawn. And on September 22nd, 1862, just 5 days after the battle, Lincoln issued the preliminary proclamation declaring that all enslaved people in the Confederate States would be free as of January 1st, 1863. And that act transformed the nature of the war, making it not just a fight to keep the Union together, but also a moral crusade against slavery. Yep. And it had crucial international implications, making it very difficult for European powers like Great Britain and France, who had already outlawed slavery, to recognize the Confederacy.
Interesting.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a big
it's
deal.
A big deal.
It's funny, we're talking about this, as you already mentioned, that it's Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
So, yeah.
Juneteenth. We're celebrating Juneteenth because that's the day that the South ultimately, the full South, was notified that the Civil War was over.
Yeah.
And I think the message was received in Galveston, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
2.5 years after the war had ended.
Wow.
They just didn't know. Happy Juneteenth to everyone.
Yeah, that's a really big deal and definitely an interesting piece of history, but also just Maryland history. I mean, Maryland plays such a big part in all of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Absolutely. And I think it would be interesting to talk, and again, I know this would fascinate you, Megan, but really kind of talk about Maryland's role in the Civil War, because it was really unique because we're a border state. We're right below the Mason-Dixon line, but we're far enough north. We weren't a Confederate state. And that was done on purpose. Abe Lincoln made sure that we didn't leave the Union.
Okay.
Yeah, he pointed cannons at the city of Baltimore.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So we'll dig into that later.
You should do your own whole podcast on that.
Well, I was thinking about, guys, I'm going to take this. I'm really thinking about peeling off and doing my own thing. I feel you guys are holding me back.
You said you could do that history one, but I know I'm busy.
You're busy.
Yeah.
You're getting your hair cut, and Megan will be out seeing the Blue Angels.
Oh, my God. Getting tan at the pool.
It's going down.
Yeah. No, I joke about history, but every time
don't care.
Every time I do, and my boys are really interested in it, and every time we talk about it, I am interested. So
you feign interest.
Yeah. No, but you play it off pretty well.
Oh,
there's that. Speaking of history and your boys, just in history and men, there's a trope or a I don't know if it's a fact or if it's an urban legend. I can attest to it, but they say that on average, most men think about the Roman Empire once a day.
Yeah, I remember the first time I joined the team, and you asked me if I could go home and ask my husband how many times per day he thought about the Roman Empire.
Constantly, right?
He's like, what the hell's the Roman Empire?
Does he think about it?
I believe that it was a larger number than I would have anticipated.
Yeah, I think about it at least once a day. It just pops up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I can't say that that's the case for women, but we'd love to hear from our listeners. If you are a woman and you think about the Roman Empire once a day, let us know.
Yeah, or if you're not a woman and you don't think about the Roman Empire, I think we'd like to hear from you. Hit us in the old, what is it, Pete?
Mailbag.
Hit us in the mailbag.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's some good information.
Yeah. And if I could recommend anything that people could do as we get into the hot days of the summer.
Like today.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to hit 100 on Sunday.
Are we?
It's a heat index of over 100 today.
Get in your car, pick a nice sunny day, make sure the air conditioner is cranked, get on I-70, and just go.
Keep driving.
Just go west. It is beautiful out there.
It is, yeah.
I'd rather do that on a fall day myself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you see the color of the leaves, the
yeah.
foliage.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you have, Pete?
Oh, I just touched on it. So I was going to talk to you about the Rocky Gap State Park,
Yep.
Lake Habib, which we did discuss. And there's also this really cool thing now. It's called Scales and Tails, which is aviary, birds of prey. It's actually at the Rocky Gap State Park. And they're they kind of save birds that have been injured.
Oh.
They have 9 birds of prey actively. And during the park hours, if they're open, you can certainly stop in and kind of, not hands-on, but obviously get to check out what they're up to and what they're
That's
saving.
really cool.
It's also like snakes and reptiles, but
Yeah.
I think the birds of prey are the bigger attraction because you see those less. But
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool.
Got any real estate data?
I do, yeah. It's just very condensed, unlike that horse dookie from.
No, seriously, man.
That was good
That was
information.
too deep a dive.
It
way
was
too
a
much
good dive, and it allowed us to kind of chat about things. I think
Yeah.
it went well, but I know that
Yeah.
what you have today is much more abbreviated.
Yeah, we just sent, that was like 11 different counties I was covering. This is 3, so we really condensed it. As John mentioned, it's the Garrett, Allegheny, and Washington.
Right.
Not in that order.
In that exact opposite order.
Yeah, starts
Washington, Allegheny,
if you're going
Garrett.
west.
Right.
So those 3 counties comprise the data we have here. What's interesting is it's very affordable out there. So you go further west, affordability reigns.
What are we talking about pricing out there?
Median sold price is $285.
Good Lord.
That's like almost half the price of the median, average price home.
A lot of people around here are buying houses that they can use as Airbnbs out there. And rent them out.
Yeah, we've got colleagues here in our brokerage.
The only issue there, when COVID hit and everybody realized they don't have to work from their office, everybody did it.
Yeah, so that happened. Yeah,
I know my cousin and his wife, they have a really tough time renting. Again, it's an amazing house, but it's the competition so fierce.
Really?
You're just one of the many.
Okay.
It's really hard to separate yourselves. So the median sold homes out there, the number, this is a full year we're looking at, 239. So not a ton of activity.
What? Wow.
Across 3.
It's much less densely populated there.
Yeah, it definitely is. I don't think that's...
How many months of standing inventory?
They're right around between 3 and 4. The higher end of 3, like
3.7. So they've got homes sitting on the market for longer.
They do.
Than we do here.
What is the industry out there? What are people doing for work?
Tourism.
It's tourism now. It used to be coal, and it used to be the railroad.
Yeah, it used to be railroad, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But you think about what the attraction is, that's tourism.
It's tourism.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a double-edged sword because, tourism does bring in money, but you've got families out there who for generations were miners or railroad workers.
Right.
And those jobs don't exist anymore. And, the downside of Western Maryland is a lot of those old towns like Cumberland.
Sure.
I mean, they've suffered.
Absolutely.
And you've got addiction issues like you have throughout Appalachia.
Yeah, there's that documentary. It was on Hulu or maybe Amazon about the Appalachia area and addiction. And
well, if you've ever read the book that our vice president wrote before he was vice president, they made a movie out of it. Goodness gracious, I can't remember the name of it.
We actually watched a movie too, and I can't remember what it's called.
But it details pretty accurately, the opioid crisis in Appalachia.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Something Elegy.
Okay.
Hillbilly Elegy.
Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh.
Thank you, Pete.
It was a great movie.
Yeah, it's a good book too.
Christina read the book.
Current vice president wrote that?
Yeah.
J.D. Vance,
He did?
Yeah, he knows that man grew up with the struggle.
He struggled.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that I knew.
His mother was drug addicted. I mean, it was a bit,
He lived with his grandmother, raised him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, all politics aside, it's a really compelling story.
I mean, I always love a rise from the ashes kind of story. Everybody does.
Yeah.
That's the movie. I highly recommend the movie too.
Yeah. Oh,
easier than the read. That's more my speed there.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched that. I'll watch it and report back. But
I think Glenn Close is in it and a few other big names.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
We did start watching White Lotus the last couple of days.
So this season 1?
Season 1.
Oh
yep.
My gosh. Wait till you get to the.
It gets better, right?
Episode. Oh, it's freaking hilarious.
Because I'm like, are they going to be at this resort the entire time?
You just need to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Season 1's fantastic. Season 2's fantastic.
Season 1's my favorite.
I haven't watched the current one yet.
We're through all of it. It's all great. It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm surprised you're not totally hooked yet.
Kevin kept being like, "Oh, I see why Pete likes this."
It's well done.
All the extras really are tense. There's not a bad way to look in that. Anywhere you look, there's just beautiful people. That doesn't hurt them either.
Well, yeah, no, they are easy on the eyes, but those people,
hilarious.
Man, they are some messed up, dirty people.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I love.
It's a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're 3 episodes in.
Yeah, you got to get to. I think it's the 10th. Whatever the final is. I don't know if I've ever laughed harder.
I always love Stifler's mom in anything.
Yeah.
She's always
great.
funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, we got some good information out to the people.
I think so. I hope our listener enjoyed it.
That history that Megan was so riveted by.
Oh my gosh! No, it's good. It's good information.
So when you do take your boys out to the Antietam battlefield in Sharpsburg, it's a national park.
Oh.
So it's really, really nice.
Okay.
And there shouldn't be any admission to enter it. I've got nothing else. We need to decide, gang, what region we will be discussing next time?
We don't have to decide now.
It's either,
I believe we do because he just put us on the spot.
it's either going to be the
What's
DC
left?
metro area or the Baltimore metro area.
I think we do the Baltimore metro area.
Here's a fun
Let's get
fact.
that
Do you know
over
that Western Maryland is part of the Pittsburgh metro area?
Really?
Yes, it
I
is.
don't know that I care.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I don't really care either, but I'm just throwing out trivia.
I did something really fun in Baltimore, in White Marsh, actually, 2 days ago, and I want to share it. So
You want to share it now or next
No,
time?
she's got to share it because I have to go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
She's
have
going
to get
share.
your
We already
hair cut.
discussed this. She's going to
Yeah.
share that.
I'm going to share it, and
Yep.
it's so fun.
So
It doesn't fit this one. It's
If
for
you
the
go to
next
my
one.
Instagram page, you can get a sneak peek.
to our loyal listener out there, I'm sure you've noticed that
It's two now.
yeah, we've been a little bit spotty in our podcast posting, and honestly, it's because we're just so darn busy with real estate. Thank goodness. But we don't want to miss out on the whole podcast experience
Yeah.
because we love doing it. So what we're going to be doing, at least for the foreseeable future, is instead of a weekly podcast drop, we'll be doing it every other week. So in 2 weeks, we will be sharing with you a new episode about one of the other 4 regions in Maryland. And until that time, hit us in the mailbag. Find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
Please send us a message through the show notes. We'd love to hear from you. Keep those cards and letters coming. And until next time, adios.
To the city. Do you wanna catch a ride downtown? If you said no